Hello, how you doing? Well, we stopped abruptly at step 8 because step 8 and step 9 are so closely tied together that it's really difficult to talk about one without talking about the other. I'm kind of running in and out of both of them at the same time. So I'm going to read step 9. Step 9 says, "May direct amends to such people whenever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others." Now, this is the step, of course, where you really, I suggest, need a sponsor's help. Of course, all the way through the steps, you should have a sponsor's help, some sponsor to help you through the steps. But this step in particular, we have some real dangers when you're about to make some direct amends to people whenever possible. Okay, and when it says direct amends, to me, that means that you have to, again, do some big boy, some big girl stuff. You want to make direct amends to people for the things that you have done. As I talked previously about my stepchild, I didn't just write to him and say, "I'm sorry." I went to where he was. I looked him straight in the face. I looked dead in his eyes, and I told him specifically the things that I had done, the damage that may have occurred in his life, and he could look dead at me and feel the reality of whether I was really sorry for what I had done. And some people don't care if you're sorry. They want to know, do you understand the extent of how deeply you hurt them? A lot of people come into recovery, and once they get in recovery about a month or two, all of a sudden they think that their family should take them right back. They come into recovery and they say, "Well, I haven't drank in 2 months, I haven't done this in 2 months, I haven't used drugs in 2 months," and they still looking at me all crazy and looking at me all strange. They think everything is over because they stopped using. It's not over simply because you stopped doing what you were doing. You see, they have this old saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? So you may know that you've done wrong, and you may know these steps, and you may know that you need to make amends. You could be in treatment right now, and your wife or your husband come, "I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry I'm here. I'm sorry I'm putting you through this." Well, yeah, you are sorry. That's probably what they want to say. Yeah, you sorry. You've been sorry for a lot of years. That's what they want to say. So they don't want to hear you just saying you're sorry and you done learn some new steps. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. They want to know that you feel the extent of the pain that you have caused them. Truth of the matter is, we never will feel the entire pain, but we do have a responsibility to try to understand it. And so what they want us to do is they want us to know that we hurt them. And I think that's one of the reasons why it says, "May direct amends to such people whenever possible." May direct amends. See, a lot of people just want to call somebody or write a letter or something like that. But if you can, it's suggested you make direct amends. Now, let me hasten to say there are sometimes you can't make direct amends. I can't go into all of it, but sometimes, for instance, you don't want to go make direct amends to somebody that might kill you once you say it. There are some things you can't make direct amends about because as soon as you go to do it, they're going to lock you up. Now, there have been people that had to do that. There were some things that they had done and it bothered their conscience so much, and they had to actually suffer the consequences of what they had done, the wreckage of their past. There are some things that we have done that as we go to make direct amends, we may have to suffer some consequences. I'm sorry to say that. As I said, this is a big boy, big girl program, but don't hasten to do that right away. You new in recovery and you're going to run out and make amends. Well, see, what I found is I wanted to make amends all the time. If I went over somebody's house and did something wrong, I was calling them the next morning. "I'm sorry. What did I do? I hope I didn't hurt nobody. I'm sorry, such and such." Why did I do that? Did I care so much about that person? As I look back on it, no. What I cared about was me. I wanted to soothe my conscience. I wanted to make myself feel better at the expense of making them feel worse. And sometimes when we go and make amends to people, we're not going for them. We're not going for the higher power. We're going because we want to get it all off of us. Like some husband that has committed had affairs, or some wife, let's not be biased, has done all kinds of secret affairs against their wife or their husband, and they feel so guilty and they feel so bad, and now they're coming into recovery and they can't take it. They feel terrible, and now they want to take all this dirty water and pour it onto their spouse. That's not fair. That's not fair. Now, if it's a reason for it and the sponsor says it's better and it has to be done, you got to work that out yourself with counselors and other people. But if you're doing it simply because you feel bad with it all on your shoulders and now you want to go make amends and put it on somebody else, this says we made a direct amends except when to do so would injure them or others. And when we take all of our guilt and go spill it on to somebody else, we're injuring them. And I think that's the wisdom of this step. That's some serious wisdom up in here, up in here, up in here, as they say. So serious wisdom up in here. Because you got people with my kind of personality that just go around feeling sad and feeling shame and feeling guilty. And I'm going to get it all for me. And I'm going to tell you how sorry I am. Yeah, you sorry. You really sorry because you want to take all your guilt and now you want to add it on to somebody else. And then if you had an affair, you want to tell them the exact nature of your affairs and the details of the affair. The big books suggest we don't do that. The big books suggest we don't do that. And that's why you need help. That's why you need a sponsor. You do this step. You make amends, except when it's going to injure them or others. Now, we don't have all wisdom. We don't always know when it's going to injure them or others. But we can know some things maybe we ought not say. And that's where you need guidance. But making amends, again, I want to say again, is more than saying I'm sorry. So many people have done so many things and they just want to get off by saying I'm sorry. If you stole money, you need to pay it back. You might even have to pay some of it back anonymously. Now, if it's so much money you can't pay it back, you can't pay it back. Maybe you can make amends some other way. Maybe you can, I don't know, help people in the rooms. What you have freely received, freely give. You know, become a loving person. You know, talk to your higher power. Higher power may give you some creative ideas. I don't know. But you need to do more than just say, I'm sorry. Some people even have the audacity to say, if I hurt you, I'm sorry. If you feel that way, I'm sorry. You know, they put it all on the other person. No, you know you've done wrong. You made a list of the people that you have harmed, and you became willing to make amends to them all. Now this is the action step. You go out and directly make amends to them. And I guess all of us who have been in treatment centers know that there are some people who have since passed away. And they have passed away, maybe your mother, maybe your father, and you can't directly make amends to them. But we have some symbolic ways, some ritualistic ways that have been helpful to many people. Some people go out to the grave site. They may read a letter or something, apology, make amends that way and burn it. Some people may make amends just by having somebody sit in the seat to represent the person that has passed away and talk to the person in that seat. There are many ways of doing it. I suggest that if you have help or a counselor, you talk to them about it. But even people who have passed away, it's important that we make amends to them, not for them, but for us. We are acknowledging before the higher power what we need to do. And then they may have children. There may be some things that you can do in that way. But we need to make amends. This does not say make an apology. It says make amends, except when to do so would injure them or others. And that's a very important exception. You don't want to run around because you're so spiritually fit that you make everybody else miserable. Now, some things might pop up later on, and you're afraid of that. I don't know. But you don't want to make yourself healthy at the expense of making other people sick. Don't injure other people. Make direct amends when possible. Big boy stuff. When it's not possible, write a letter. When it's not possible, call on the phone. When it's not possible, get on the internet. Now, some things you do not want to say on the internet, okay? But do it in the best way that you can. But the steps suggest that if we can, we make direct amends. This will give you a lot of freedom. This will give you a lot of freedom. And it shows the seriousness and the earnestness that you have with your recovery process. Peace out.